Welcome back to Reflections with Emrys. Let's take a moment to see what each symbol has to offer today. Today's symbols are the salmon, the rune, Thurisaz, and the Om, Fearn, also known as the alder. The salmon is a symbol of inner knowing, persistence, and returning to what's true. At its core, salmon carries the wisdom of instinct and intelligence that doesn't need permission to exist. It's known for its upstream journey, which speaks to devotion, the steady choice to keep going even when it would be easier to drift. Salmon also holds the idea of remembering, as if your body and spirit know the way back to your own source. It teaches that effort can be sacred when it's aligned with purpose, and it reminds you that wisdom isn't only learned, it's also retrieved. In life, salmon may show up when you feel called back to a path you once abandoned, or a truth you've tried to outgrow. It can appear when you're rebuilding confidence in your intuition after a season of doubt or noise. You might be navigating resistance, internal or external, and learning the difference between a challenge that strengthens you and one that drains you. It can also arrive when you're ready to stop outsourcing your answers and start listening inward again. And it often accompanies moments where progress looks slow, but the direction is unmistakably right. Its reflection is this: your knowing may not be loud, but it is steady. Let your devotion be to what's real, not what's easy. If you keep moving toward your true source, the current will eventually feel like support, not opposition. Thurisaz is a rune of thresholds, protective force, and the courage to meet what must be faced. At its core, Thurisaz carries a bristling, boundary-making energy, like a thorn that says, "Not here. Not like this." It's not gentle, but it is clarifying. It reveals what is misaligned by creating friction. This rune can symbolize defense, disruption, and necessary confrontation, especially when something has been allowed to go on too long. It also teaches that protection isn't always soft. It can be firm, direct, and clean. And it reminds you that truth sometimes arrives as a no that restores your life. In life, Thurisaz may show up when you need to set a boundary you've been avoiding, or speak a truth you've been swallowing. It can appear when you're learning to stop negotiating with what harms you, habits, dynamics, self-talk, or expectations. You might be at a threshold moment where the old way cannot continue, even if the new way feels uncertain. It can also mark a test of integrity. Will you choose comfort or will you choose alignment? And it often arrives when you're being asked to respect your own limits as sacred. Its reflection is this: let discomfort be information, not failure. Let your boundary be a blessing, not a punishment. If something in you rises to protect your spirit, trust that it is trying to bring you back to yourself. Fearn, the alder, is an ohm of protection, resilience, and steadiness through change. At its core, Fearn speaks to the strength that comes from standing rooted near the shifting waters of life. It carries a protective presence, like a guardian at the edge of a threshold, reminding you that stability can coexist with transformation. Fearn also symbolizes grounded courage, not the dramatic kind, but the kind that keeps showing up. It teaches that you can be both tender and tough, adaptable without losing your center. And it reminds you that the way you hold your ground shapes what can safely grow. In life, Fearn may show up when you're moving through emotional tides, grief, transition, uncertainty, and you need something reliable to lean on. It can appear when you're building stronger boundaries around your time, energy, or relationships. You might be learning how to stay steady without becoming rigid, and how to protect your peace without closing your heart. It can also arrive when you're called into a leadership moment, even if it's just leading yourself. And it often supports you in creating a safe bank for your feelings, so they can move without flooding your life. Its reflection is this: you don't need to harden to be strong. You can choose steady protection that still allows life to flow. Let your resilience be quiet, consistent, and rooted in what you value most. When we look at these three symbols together, the salmon, Thurisaz, and Fearn, a clear theme begins to form. The salmon brings returning wisdom and devoted direction. Thurisaz brings boundaries and a protective threshold. Fearn brings rooted resilience and steadiness through change. Together, they suggest a powerful moment of returning to your truth and protecting it once you find it. The salmon shows you the path back to what matters, even if it requires effort and patience. Thurisaz asks you to stop letting what harms you share the same space as what heals you. And Fearn helps you hold your ground with calm strength, so your inner life becomes a safe place again. The salmon encourages you to keep moving toward what you know is real. Thurisaz invites you to defend that truth with clear limits. Fearn reminds you that steadiness is a form of devotion. The mood here is resolute, cleansing, and quietly empowering. It feels like choosing yourself without drama, just with certainty. This combination suggests that the next phase of your growth depends less on discovering new answers and more on honoring the answers you already carry. It also hints that your intuition will get clearer the moment you stop tolerating what dulls it. And it teaches that protection isn't closing off, it's creating the conditions where your life can thrive. Today's reflection is this: return to your inner knowing, set the boundary that keeps it safe, and stand steady while the waters of change move around you. Thank you for joining me. I'll meet you in the next reflection.